Shalom Havarim. So Abba Father Yuhuah taught me a lesson today, and I wanted to share that with others. Today is a well-known day that is marked on many people's calendars in perhaps the world. I don't know how everybody else celebrates today, but here in the U.S., people have their calendars marked to celebrate Mother's Day. So my husband and I, we went to a family gathering where we took Matt's mother out for lunch. And as we are sitting in the parking lot, Matt hands me a card and he says, "Here, go ahead and sign it." So upon doing this, I had a scripture verse come to mind, which is it's Psalm 118 verse 24. "For this is the day Yuhuah has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it." Okay, this is the day he made. All right, and we go into the restaurant and celebrate this day, celebrate his mom, and then we come out, and I felt led to message all my girlfriends or people that I knew that were mothers and tell them Joyful Mother's Day. And upon doing so, I had a sister message me back. Salem, if you watch this, thank you so much, sister. And she said, "Thank you, but I don't celebrate Mother's Day because it has pagan origins." And I'm like, wow, like it was like a bomb that just went off inside of my mind, or a light bulb, if you will. It just went off. And it occurred to me that Abba Father Yuhuah has been teaching me about, he's been teaching me a lot about all the pictographs, but specifically that has been a major eye-opener in my life has been the two pictographs that I've spoken much on my channel, and those are Hey Lamed. Hey is the man praising, hopefully, Abba, and then Lamed is the staff, and I'm also going to share another model, and it's our tongue. Okay, so I was shown that upon receiving some information from the sister, I was like, wow, this goes back to what we are praising. What are we worshiping? And so I wrote a few things down, and I wanted to share them with you guys. We are instructed in Romaim 1 verse 25 that man was worshiping what was created rather than the creator. So in context with today being Mother's Day, being a traditional custom of the nations to celebrate mothers, it was created by man. So rather than worshiping the creator today and every day of our lives, man choose to come together on, whether it's Mother Day or any other appointed time of the nations that we are surrounded by. People are worshiping self with vain traditions, which goes back to there's a lot of different scripture verses, but vain traditions that man is worshiping. And we were instructed to not do as the nations do around us, not serve what they are serving. And there's a couple scriptures I just wrote down quickly where it talks about when we come into the land, to beware not to serve what the nations around us are serving, for they are vain and they mean nothing, and we need to abstain from nothingness and worship Yuhuah alone. And so I'm just going to throw out some scripture verses here that I looked up real quickly, and you guys can read them for yourselves. I'm sure there's way more than what I wrote down, but here's a few. Deuteronomy 18 verse 9, and then skip down to also verse 30. Then we have Deuteronomy or Devarim 12 verse 30. So I'm going to stop there for a second. I got two more to share with you, but I wanted to point this out. The book of Devarim is based out of the three pictographs Dalet Beit Resh, Debar, Devarim, and that also connects to the name Deborah, or Debbie, or Deborah. Okay, so there's different roots, but they all have the same pictographs. And that word there, Debar, means to create order. So the opposite of those pictographs, if you're looking at the negative side, that's the positive side, because Abba creates order. But the negative part of those pictographs is to create disorder. So Yuhuah creates order by us celebrating him and praising and worshiping him on his appointed time, on his days. So we have a comparison of what man is worshiping and praising, and what hopefully Abba Father Yahuwah's people are praising and worshiping. So we have man's calendar and we have Abba Father Yahuwah's calendar, and that word there's, goes roots back in paganism too, but the English language has pagan aspects in it regardless. The point is we need to focus on Abba Father Yahuwah regardless of what state we are in. But man is marking their calendar with their days. They created their own calendar with their own holidays, which I like to call them holidays. And they are praising and worshiping people or things on these holidays. Now, what Abba Father Yahuwah also showed me was holiday starts with Hey Lamed, okay, because there's no vowels. So holiday, Hey Lamed, all right. And then he showed me that the end part of holiday is day, which is Yom. And Yom in the pictograph is Yod Mem. So we have Hey Lamed Yod Mem. And what that breaks down to is man is praising, okay, praising the staff of Gadriel Hashatan, the world, however you want to look at it, is praising the world staff, the world's ways. And that has to do with the inner workings. So Yod Mem, Yom, for the English word day, breaks down to being guided and steered by the hand and the fluids that are within within people. So I don't know how to explain this so people understand, but we are steered and guided. Our organs do not work by themselves. We don't say, okay, let's go ahead and use the restroom right now. We don't tell our bowels and our heart to pump blood. We don't tell the organs within us to function the way they need to function. They just automatically function that way. So when we are steered and guided by our Creator and Yeshua, because we are his dwelling place, and he dwells inside of us. So if we are steered and guided by his Yod, his hand, and he is guiding our inward parts, which Mem has to do with the fluids inside of us, the blood, the frequency, it can go pretty deep. So we are either being steered by the hand of the living water. Yeshua is the way. He is the blood. He is the life within us. We are steered by His hand, by His frequency, His living waters within us, to praise and worship Him. But the negative side of that is man is being led from within and steered from within to praise and worship what man is, what man is doing, what man is marking on their calendars. So we have two different sides here. I hope I'm making this clear enough and it's not confusing. But the difference is man is either worshiping Abba Father Yuhuah and being guided by Yeshua inside of them and steering them in the way that they are to go, or we're being steered to worship the enemy and the world and what they are doing. We are either marking our calendars to praise and worship our Creator on the appointed days and times that He has appointed for us, or we are marking our calendar and praising and worshiping man and their days. And so this goes back to, why are we doing what we are doing? Why are we worshiping what the world worships? We are to come out from among her and be set apart, Chodesh. And in so doing, we will not be worshiping these things. Now, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't honor our mothers, okay? We should be honoring our mothers every single day of our entire lives, okay? But that doesn't mean to partake in what the world is partaking in. You can say, I love you, Mother, and show her with your actions and your words every day of the year that you love her. You don't have to do it on a day that the world says you need to celebrate her. But this also goes back to this Mother's Day. It also has pagan roots, and it goes back to idolatry and all this other stuff. So we always have to question what the other people around us are doing. So we can create things. Okay, man has created their own calendar. We're not to worship what was created, but rather worship the Creator. Today the world is worshiping mothers, but this day is the day that Yuhuah has made, and we shall rejoice and worship Him, and Him alone shall we serve. And that is what we are to do today. So I had a major lesson taught to me that even though He's been bringing to my attention that I need to be careful with what I am praising, I did partake in this celebration today, not knowing, and I am stricken of spirit, and I feel very sorrowful that I partook in this vain tradition that nullifies the instructions of Elohim. So they're customs of the nations around us, okay? And the other two verses that I wanted to bring up before ending is, when you're looking up, before you come into the land, beware not to do as the nations do. The other two verses I wanted to bring up in context of that phrase is Leviticus 18:3 and Ezekiel 11:12. So look those up. We had Deuteronomy 18:9 and 18:30. We had Deuteronomy 12 verse 30. We had Leviticus 18:3 and Ezekiel 11:12, just to bring them all in. And you will see that people are worshiping what was created rather than the Creator. We should always be on guard to not do what the people around us are doing. Honor your mother. Honor your father. Honor those that come into your presence in your life. Do that every single day. And recognize that we are to love Abba Father Yuhuah with all our heart and with all our being. And then we are to love our neighbor, our family, okay, as ourselves. So, you know, to me, what that says is we always choose Abba Father Yuhuah first. He is, to quote Ellen Horvath, or he says, Yuhuah is one, okay? He shall be one on a list of one, which, you know, there is no list of one. He is it. You should only have Abba Father Yuhuah on your list, on the forefront of your mind is who you should be serving and worshiping and praising every single day of our fleshly bodies, however long they are on his earth. We are not to be praising ourselves or praising our families, because we are to deny ourselves. That's what it says. We are to deny ourselves. So what are people doing on these days that are appointed to worship self, worship family? Their vain traditions, their idolatry. Idols means serving yourself. We're either serving ourselves or we are serving family. And many people put their family above Abba Father Yuhuah. In fact, even today while we were at the restaurant, I brought this to Matt's attention later on, that we did not even pray before partaking in the meal that that was prepared for us. So we didn't even pray, because everyone at that table does not celebrate, except for Matt and I, the feast days, the appointed times of Abba Father Yuhuah that he has given us, that we are to mark on our calendar. We are to mark his days, not the world's days. Okay? All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. So praise and worship Abba on his days, not the world's. We are to come out from among her and be set apart in Chodesh. Shalom, Havarim. Bye.